In this video, I'm going to be showing you how you can cut this beautiful trending bustier blouse with a slit in front. So if it's something you would love to learn, do well to watch to the end of the video, like, share and subscribe. So without further ado, let's jump right into the main video. So I'm going to rule a starting line here, which is our shoulder line as well. So from there, I'm going to come down to take my vertical measurement. From my shoulder to my bust point is 9.5 inches. I'm going to mark that and extend the point across. Then from the starting line again, which is our shoulder line, I'm going to come down to mark my under bust length. From my shoulder to my under bust length is 12 inches. I'm going to mark that and then I'll extend the point across as well. Then from the shoulder line again, I'm going to come down to mark my waist point. From my shoulder to my waist in front is 16 inches. You know, from the shoulder to the waist at the back and front is not the same, so do well to take the measurement appropriately. So I'll go ahead and extend the point across as well. Then from the shoulder line again, I'm going to come down to mark the length of this blouse. So I'm marking 24 inches as the length. So it depends on the length you want. All right, I will extend the point across. I will label my lines appropriately. This is my full length, this is my waistline, this is my under bust line, and this is my bust line. I'm going to come to the shoulder line, divide my shoulder by 2. My shoulder is 15 divided by 2 is 7.5. I'll mark it right here. At that point, I'll come down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. I'll come here to mark my neck width of 3 inches, and I'll connect from the shoulder slope all the way to the neck width like so. I'm going to come down to mark my neck depth of 3 inches. So I'm using 3 by 3 for the neck, and I'll use my curve rule to just connect from the neck width all the way to the neck depth this way. The next thing is to mark the chest line, and to get your chest line, you're going to divide your bust by 6, add 1.5 inches. I got 7, and I'll go ahead and extend that point across. So this line is our chest line. I'm going to come to my chest line. I'm going to mark my shoulder measurement here to have a straight line. I'm going to mark the 7.5 here and connect from the shoulder slope all the way to the point we just marked. I'm going to come to this line here and divide what I have here into 2 to get the midpoint. At the midpoint, I'll go in by half an inch. I'll come to the chest line, divide my bust circumference by 4. I'll mark it here. I'll connect all this point all the way to the shoulder slope to have my armhole like this. So the next thing is to mark our dart. To mark your dart, you're going to divide your nipple to nipple measurement by 2. That is your bust span. My nipple to nipple measurement is 7 divided by 2 is 3.5. I'll mark the 3.5 on the bust line, under bust line, on the waistline, and all the way to the full length. I'll go ahead and connect the points together with a straight line. I'm going to label this side as my center front. This is my center front here, and then the other side as my side front. I'm going to come to the under bust line on the center front here. I'm going to mark half an inch here on the center front, but if you're a plus size person, you can mark 1 inch on the center front. Then on the side front, I'll mark 1 inch here. Like I said, if you're a plus size person, you can mark 1 inch on the center front and 1.5 inches on the side front. I'll mark the same thing all the way to the full length and connect the points together with a straight line this way. I'm going to come to the bust line. I'll come down from here by 1 inch from the bust line, and I'll connect from the under bust all the way to that point with my curve rule this way. I'll also do the same thing on this other side. So we are using a preset dart for this bustier. I'm going to connect from here to the midpoint of my armhole with my curve rule this way. So I'm going to come up here and we are going to tighten up this place. I'm going to mark half an inch on both sides of this line, and I'll connect it back into the original line with my curve rule this way. So this 1 inch we took for that here, I'm going to replace it on the lower line. This lower line here, I'm going to replace the 1 inch here so we don't have any shortage. I will extend this line to that 1 inch. I will also replace the 1 inch on the chest line, and I'll go ahead and reconnect my armhole. So this is what we have. The next thing is to impute our arm body measurement. We've already marked our bust measurement here, so I'm going to come to the under bust line, divide my under bust by 4. I will mark it right here on the under bust line. The 1.5 inches for that, I'm going to replace it. I'll come to the waistline also, divide my waist by 4. I'll mark it right here. The 1.5 inches for that, I'll replace it. I'll come to the full length. I'm going to impute my hip measurement here divided by 4, and then the 1.5 inches for that I'll also replace it. Then I'll go ahead and connect all these points together to shape my pattern paper this way. So the next thing is to take the bust dart, and to take your bust dart, this is the difference you have from your shoulder to your waist in front and from your shoulder to your waist at the back. From my shoulder to my waist at the back is 14.5 inches, while the front is 16 inches, so the difference is 1.5 inches. I came down from the bust line by that 1.5 inches, and I'll connect it back like this. So we are going to cut out this place. So the next thing we're going to do right now is to create that slit we have in front. So I'm going to come out here from our dart leg by 1 inch, and then I'm going to come down from the waistline to the point I want the slit to start from. So you decide on where you want the slit to start from. So I came down from the waistline by 3 inches. You can do 2, you can do 4, it depends on how long you want the slit to be. I'll connect from there to that 1 inch this way, and this is basically it. I'm going to come to the side here and come up by 3 inches. This is to give it that nice curve you see on the thumbnail, and this is basically it for the front pattern. So we'll just go ahead and cut this out just so we can work on the back pattern. Make sure to close down your bust dart before you cut out. So you can see how beautiful this came out. So if you look at that thumbnail closely, you discover that we have 3 darts on the front pattern. So we are going to open this center front. We are going to cut it into 2. The reason why we are doing this is because of the slit we have in front. So by the time you close the dart, the slit, and notch the where your slit is supposed to start from, the slit is going to relax very well. So we are still going to join this center front back. All right, so this is basically it for the front. We are going to keep this aside so that we can work on the back pattern. For the back pattern, I've already gone ahead to rule out the necessary lines, my bust line, my waistline, and the full length. I have my zipper allowance of 1 inch. So I'm going to come to the shoulder line, divide my shoulder by 2. I'll come down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. I'll come here to mark my neck width of 3 inches, just the way we did for the front pattern. The neck width for the back and the front must be the same. So I'll connect this way. I'll come down to mark my neck depth of 1 inch. So I'm using 1 inch for the neck depth for the back, and I'll connect from the neck width all the way into the zipper allowance with my curve rule this way. The next thing is to mark the chest line using the same formula we used for the front. Divide your bust by 6, add 1.5 to the measurement. That gives me 7. I will extend that point across. On the chest line, I will mark my shoulder measurements here, and I'll connect from the shoulder slope all the way to this point here. I'll come here to mark the midpoint of this line. At this point, we are basically repeating what we did on the front pattern. Come in by 1/2 inch. I'll mark my bust divided by 4 on the chest line, and I'll go ahead and connect all these points to form my armhole. I'll come down to mark my dart. Divide the nipple to nipple measurement by 2. I'm going to mark it on the chest line, bust line, waistline, all the way to the full length. And I'll connect all the points together with a straight line. I'm going to come to the waistline and mark 1/2 inch on both sides of this line. Then from the waistline, I'm going to come down by 6 inches. I'll come down from the chest line by 1 inch, and I'll go ahead and connect my dart. So we are using preset dart for the back pattern as well. So I'm just going to connect from here to the midpoint of my armhole. Make sure this part is not too curvy because you don't have bust at the back. I will extend this line by 1/2 inch out, and then I will connect my armhole this way. So this is basically it. I will go ahead and impute my round body measurements. We've already marked our bust measurement. So I'll come to the waistline, divide my waist by 4. I'll replace the dart of 1 inch that we have there. I'll come to the hip line and mark my hip measurement. I'll go ahead and shape my pattern paper. Remember that we didn't add a sewing allowance to this measurement, so when cutting on your fabric, do well to add your sewing allowance, or better still, when drafting, do well to mark the sewing allowance. So I'm going to come to the waistline and mark 1/2 inch here on the zipper allowance. This is to prevent our zip from bulging after sewing. So this excess we have here, we're going to take it out. This is very important. Make sure to do this so that you don't have your zip bulging out after sewing. I'll come up from the side here by 3 inches, and I'll connect it back into the original line just the way we did for the front. And this is basically it for the back pattern. We'll just go ahead and cut this out. So this is what we have for the back. This is the center back and this is the side back, and we're going to be cutting ×2 of each piece, and this is it. So this is basically it for this tutorial. So if you have watched to this point and you have not yet subscribed, do where to subscribe, like, share, and give this video a thumbs up. If you have any question, do where to drop it in the comment section and I'll do where to attend to it. So thank you so much for staying tuned, and I will see you in the next video.